And Yola's line they're probably 2 series in the future, right? Yeah. They have the next one that's coming out in the spring, and then they probably have the next one in research and development right now.
Yeah. Like is Ben Johns even using the Perseus anymore?
Yeah.
Probably not.
I bet Ben is using different paddles too, to like work down the line and tell them, what's good for 2024 and beyond. So he's a smart individual. So I don't know if there's anyone more trusted in the player space to help build a brand new paddle than Ben.
0-0 start.
What's up, guys? Another episode, 0-0 Start Podcast by Just Paddles. Today, here with my dudes, Jason, Kyle. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about something pretty cool, per usual. My question to you guys to kick this thing off, let's not wait any longer. Let's get right into it. The last 2 months of pickleball paddle releases, was it the biggest 2 months in the history of paddle releases? Because it was absolutely wild. 2, is it going to be matched anytime soon? Because we can run through the list later of all the paddles that came through, but it was pretty crazy. So Jason, what do you think? Was it the biggest 2 months in the history of paddle releases?
Yeah. I mean, I think arguably it has to be at the top. There's just been an insane amount of paddle releases here in the last month and a half, some that are still even to come up. And they're all excellent paddles. There are no duds in these new releases. They're all very solid.
That's what I mean. Like you can release 100 paddles, but if they're not, I'm talking like every release seems to be like as good, if not better than the next one. It's just wild. Like big names dropping groundbreaking paddles.
Yeah, a lot of these paddles you'll see on with pros in their hands.
And we already have. So that's like they're switching immediately. And for a professional to switch like right out of the gate like that, something's up. Like they've created a really good paddle, because these pros are so accustomed to what they like. For them to switch to the brand new paddle, something, it's telling you something was done really well.
Yeah, all these brands are stepping up. They're all pushing each other to make what's the best paddles that have ever been out. They're all showing up now. And at this rate, they're going to just keep being better and better.
And it's finally come to the point where I think everybody, early pickleball, it was release paddles as fast as you can, because anything's going to do well, right? You can just new paddle, new design, boom, let's go. Now the carbon fiber phase hit and it became wild. And I think that hit hard for about a year. And now I think even the carbon fiber paddle, it's still going to be the most popular face and material of the paddles. But just saying it's carbon fiber is becoming not good enough. It's like, what? Okay, cool. Everybody else does that too. What else is there? And that's what we're seeing with these new paddles is like, yeah, they're carbon fiber. You need to say that. We need it to be that material. But here are the other things that we did to enhance these characteristics of the paddle.
I think it's like now it's coming into an edgeless phase, how they're constructing paddles.
Do you like edgeless paddles, for the record?
I do. I like them.
I'm a fan.
I thank God for edge guards, because edge guard tape, like protection, because every time I've used an edge guard or an edgeless paddle, I've just like abused the paddle so bad that it was $250, and now I'm like, this is, I don't know if I could get $10 for this. Yeah, that it is. What a blessing. So if you don't use edge guard tape, shout out edge guard tape, because it saves your paddle literally.
I think durability is the biggest thing with edgeless paddles, that people are breaking some of these paddles that have edge guards on them, and that's one of the main reasons why they're breaking. And edgeless seems to be more durable than those.
Just throw an edge guard tape on there and you're ready to go. Yep. All right, here's the list and this is just only some of them. I won't read off all of them, but some of the big dogs that just recently launched. You can see them behind me. That's a good start with the Selkirk Lux Control Air paddles, all 3 of them, the S2, the Epic, and the Invicta, not in that order. The Adidas Metal Bone, it's crazy, right? Totally new. You've never seen anything like that before.
Game changing.
Gearbox Pro Series set the world on fire. We sold out in 2 hours and begging to get more immediately. The Head Radical Raw, Head's first carbon fiber paddle, cool looking. That's Head's brand new paddle. The Catherine Parento Power Air, which that Power Air is never going to go out of style, but just a new look, which I think is super clean, that light blue. The Can You Tell I Like Blue from Catherine. The Diadem Edge 18K, the only 18K carbon fiber paddle, and coming soon, can't wait for it, the Annalie Waters paddle from Paddle Tech. Don't know too much about that, but if she's playing with it and it's taken so long to release this thing, something's going to be pretty
some special
sweet about
sauce in there or something.
There's something in there. But talk about that list. That's what I mean. Like, can you pick out one of those that you're not like home run, awesome paddle, bestseller?
They're all incredible. I mean, there's no shortfall in any of them. I've been lucky enough to play with all of them outside of the Annalie paddle really at this point. And they all blow my mind. Wild Monkeys has the Spirit paddle coming out. There's a long list of very, very good paddles.
Yeah, it's but like you said, it's more they're taking their time. It's not let's get a paddle out as soon as we can. Let's put some time, let's put some love into this, and it's really paying off. Yeah, like Jason said, I've hit them too, and I'm really impressed with all of them. Especially the gearbox ones. The power is powerful, and the control is actually control, and they're the same thickness, which is crazy. It's the time and effort Raphael put into that. It was pretty crazy. And then the Selkirk Lux has got the control. If you want control, there it is. So a lot of great paddles.
The metal bone too, where you can change the swing weight and change the weight of it is pretty nuts. And it's one of those technologies too that you can see, touch, feel, and actually feel a difference as you adjust it. So, and head paddles, to me, like head paddles have always been so well constructed. They're just great. But now that they've taken a carbon fiber approach to their paddles, it just takes them to the next level.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And shout out to the always popular Selkirk Power Air, my favorite paddle, even though I didn't pick it as first in the paddle draft, which by the way, to this day, I've regretted that because I didn't think it was coming back around because I didn't think, Jason, you were a Power Air guy. I tried to play the game and I got burned.
You got burned bad. Yeah.
But with these, and I was just thinking too, we got to tease the second paddle draft, and we got to do that quarterly because, that draft with the release of all these new paddles, it's going to get a little spicy. And I'm not even talking to you guys for a month before we do that next draft because I don't know. That's going to be wild with all these new paddles.
I can't share any of your secrets of what you're going to take.
But your 18K, Diadem 18K was a very worthy first pick though.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not sad about that. I just thought I was going to build a super team and Jason took that away slightly. That was your opponent. It was in the past. But so from the brands that we've talked about launching all these brand new paddles, that has to force all of these other brands. And not that they wouldn't do it anyway, but just the competitiveness of the market. What's coming next from all, the big brands? Like what's coming next from Engage? What's coming next from Paddle Tech? All the big dogs out there. What's coming next from Yola? And Yola's line they're probably 2 series in the future, right? Yeah. They have the next one that's coming out in the spring, and then they probably have the next one in research and development right now.
Yeah. Like is Ben Johns even using the Perseus anymore?
Yeah.
Probably not.
There were grumblings that there were certain athletes that use products, now I'm not saying in this sport, I won't say what sport it is, but I bet Ben is using different paddles too, to like work down the line and tell them, what's good for 2024 and beyond.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He knows, he kind of knows exactly what it seems meticulous when it comes to that stuff. And he's got it down to each and every accessory. So, he's in the bag doing something. And
Ben is like one of those, they're all like smart business people too.
Yeah.
So he's a smart individual. So I mean, I don't know if there's anyone more trusted in the player space to help build a brand new paddle than Ben.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anybody playing the sport that knows the ins and outs as much as anybody, it's got to be him, especially with his degree in engineering and all that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think he even like mocked up some of the stuff on the Perseus to start off with. So there you go. That guy, he's fully involved in every aspect of the sport from the start to the end.
Yeah, between him and Annalie Waters, there's got to be 622,000 hours of paddle time. And that's not even practice time, maybe, but they play so much that their season is literally probably double or close to double any other player on tour just because they're winning so much. So they really know when they test a paddle, they're testing it for a while.
Yeah.
They're testing it all the way through the tournament, not to the quarters and out.
Yep. Yeah, they don't get to go home after Saturday. They're always there on Sunday as well.
In one of the divisions, if not two, if not three, because I don't know how many 16 or 17 Triple Crowns Annalie has. Like, that's pretty good.
It's not normal.
I think that no, it's definitely not normal, but they're not either. Like
That's
to be in
true.
the Forbes top 30 when you're 16 years old, we missed that boat, all three of us, by a couple decades, by the way.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think that's one of the reasons too, is her paddle has taken so long to develop, is like, she's probably very meticulous too. And she needs to find like the perfect balance, not only for her, but all the, the perfection of everything together for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I remember clips of her earlier this year using what appeared to be a different paddle, and then a few different times where she actually changed like mid game. So yeah, she's stirring it up. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, they're deep into that R&D. I can't wait to see what that one's like. But given the ones that have come out recently, I know the Gearbox Pro Series has like just set the world on fire and like everybody wants it. What are the other ones from that list? What's the next one that you guys are super excited about?
Well, I gotta say the Lux for sure. I mean, Jack Sock is obviously entering the space of pickleball, and this is the paddle that he gravitated towards.
Mm-hmm.
So if that says anything, that's just a sign that there is something magical about this paddle as well. If you got one of the huge tennis players switching over to pickleball full time, and this is the paddle that he ultimately decided was the one that was right for him. So that says a lot.
Yeah.
They are put together so like perfectly too. Like I don't know, I should know this, but I don't. You probably do. But if Lux is short for luxurious, like they nailed it, because that's exactly how it, but really like when you grab the paddle and you say, oh, it's how much is this? You feel like you've got every penny worth when you buy that thing. It's not the paddle from 10 years ago, not a Selkirk, just in general, like,
sure.
Quickly put together. This thing is everything that it's expected to be. But that paddle too, it's one of those paddles too that you're like, oh, it's the control paddle. But is it really? Yes, it is. Like it is noticeably less powerful, but more control than the Power Air.
For sure.
Yeah, I think the head paddles, they're raw carbon fiber paddle. Like you said earlier, they're here now, and I mean they have so much experience with tennis, and I'm just really excited for the future. And I love hitting that paddle too, so I know they're going to do a lot of good stuff in the future too. And they've got off to a good start with all their original paddles, but this carbon fiber paddle really starts to make me wonder what they can do.
Yeah,
that's their. Go ahead, Jason.
Plus that orange edge guard.
Yeah, it's cool looking.
Chef's
Is that
kiss
orange?
to that. Oh yeah,
it's a Halloween paddle.
Orange. That's not red.
It's not red.
Goodness, I gotta figure something out, and I gotta go immediately somewhere. But yeah, no, it not only does it look good, but like we said before, like head paddles have always been put together so darn well that now that they've taken that leap into the best material that's in pickleball at the moment, that paddle is fantastic. Good call. My excitement levels to the metal bone just to see what it can do. It's just so unique with the weights that you can pop in and out and move the balance point. And if you play singles or doubles, or if you're switching, if depending on the opponents that you're playing, there's just so much customization you can do with that. And the design is cool. It's got, It's got that little bit of the Selkirk aerodynamics to it. That's to me, like, I think Adidas took such a massive jump from where they were to where they are now with the metal bone release.
Yeah, this could take them to the next level for sure.
Plus, you think of how many people add lead weight to their paddle, and I mean, you could still add lead weight to the metal bone, but this almost makes it more universal, where you can switch from game to game whether you want more weight or you want less weight, depending on who you're playing. If you're playing singles, if you're playing doubles, maybe you're outside and it's windy and you need more power or something like that. It's definitely a unique feature, and we'll see, if others start to kind of mimic the design in a way, because it is something we haven't seen in the pickleball space at all yet.
And it's so quick too. It's not like, it's not lead tape where you got to, peel it, cut it. Hopefully you're using your gloves, because I don't think it's the best for you. But
yeah,
the metal bone, it's popping it in and pop it out. You can do it at a timeout. You can do it in between games, whatever. The customization is just seconds away, which I think is cool. And like you said, if you're playing into the wind and you want a little more juice, pop them in, make it more, or pop them out, make it more head heavy, pop them in, whatever you want to do. It's just so quick. I don't know. They're from where they were with their first launch to where they're at. It's been a huge jump
for sure.
What a name too, Metal Bone.
I thought it was like when I got that email, I thought it was like the new Mad Max movie, and I was like, yes, new Mad Max, but it was actually Adidas's pickleball paddle, and I was like equally as pumped.
Yeah, I mean, I just love that all these brands. I mean, ultimately they're pushing each other to be better, and in the long run, it just benefits every single player out there, that you're not stuck on what we have now. They're going to keep innovating, as it's shown here in the last, month and a half, of just what these paddle companies can do. And I don't even think we've hit the start of it, really, because I think there's so much more that these guys can do and that they're working on.
Well, it's going to be an exciting 6 months of pickleball. I think probably for the most part, the crazy launches are done for the year. But this next spring, the stuff that we haven't even heard about yet is going to be wild. And wouldn't it be cool to have a look into like gearboxes? You think they're done creating and innovating? No
Never.
chance. Like, it'd be cool to hop into their labs, sign our sweet, NDA. So we're not going to tell anybody anything, and just hop in there and peek for a second. Because what they're doing right now, all of these major pickleball companies, has got to be kind of cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Buckle your seatbelt. It's coming.
Nice, Kyle. That's the perfect ending. Buckle your seatbelt. It's coming. I can't wait for the next
it's like
5
Deion
months.
Sanders. We coming.
We coming. And it ain't going to be any of that bull junk, Kyle. All right. Well, 4 or 5 months. Let's get another paddle draft ready to rock, because it's going to be crazy. I can't wait to see it. I'm not telling you guys anything, and we will see you guys at the 2024
we might
pickleball paddle draft.
Might have to do it around April, around the NFL draft time.
Yep.
We'll see. We might do one. Heck, we might do one like in a month with all the crazy launches, and then come February, there might be like 10 more amazing ones, and we can just do it like every 3 weeks.
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right, gents. Well, what did you say, Kyle?
Let's do it.
Buckle your seatbelts.
Buckle your seatbelts.
It's coming.